Hey everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to Cinefessions, where we talk all things media. I'm back today with another video game haul. This time moving from Sony, which I did PS2 in my last one, moving over to Xbox with both the original Xbox, just one game, and the Xbox 360. So just shy of 20 titles in total today. So let's get to it. That was a lot of alliteration. Good for me. Anyway, let's not waste any time at all. Let's dive right into my Xbox and Xbox 360 video game haul. I'll start off with the only Xbox game I've grabbed recently, and this is one of hopefully the start of some other ones I'll be grabbing, but there's actually two games. We have Tetris Worlds, and I'm going to flip it over, Star Wars The Clone Wars. So this is the reason I bought this. What's really cool is that Star Wars The Clone Wars is playable on the Xbox Series X, and it gets an FPS boost, which is really cool. That's the whole reason I wanted this, but and it was crazy because you can buy Star Wars Clone Wars on PS2, I think it was like $11.99 at Disc Replay where I got this. This double feature, which is playable on Xbox Series X, was $2.99 or $3.99, something like that. So like a much better deal. Of course, I'm going this route, and it is complete. It has both manuals included, which is awesome. And I did verify you can, even though this does have both games on it, you can boot this up and it will download the Clone Wars game so you can play it on the Series X, which is how I will play it. So very cool. Tetris Worlds was a good one. I played that back in the day. It's been quite a while now. Star Wars Clone Wars, I've never played before. So looking forward to checking this out. And like I said, I'm hoping this is kind of the first in a number of Star Wars games that I pick up, specifically on Xbox, because a lot of them are playable on the Series X, so that's what I'd love to do. But anyway, excited for this single Xbox game I grabbed, which is a double pack of Tetris Worlds and Star Wars The Clone Wars.
The transports are taking damage! They need help!
All right, so let's move over to the Xbox 360, and I'll say that the 360 is one of my all-time favorite video game consoles. I have so many incredible memories of it. It was out at the perfect time. I was in undergrad for the beginning of its life, and so Halo 3, so many late nights playing that, playing Rock Band with some of my best friends in college. Just like it came out at the perfect time in my life, so it'll forever be one of my favorite consoles. I remember my good friend who we did play the Rock Band with was always dealing with the red light of death. Fortunately, she was able to send it in and get a new one, but knock on wood, my console, it's not a launch console, which I think helps me out, but it has not faced a red wing of death. I've had the same one since I bought it used at GameStop like a year after it came out. Maybe a year and a half, somewhere around there. And so, yeah, it's still kicking, which is awesome. But anyway, let's get into the games here. So first up, the only fighting game I grabbed, I've heard great things about this, Soul Calibur V. I have really enjoyed the other Soul Calibur games I've played, but I've not played number 5 yet, so I had to grab it. And I'm not a fighting game person really at all. I have played a handful of them. I really like the Tekken series, the originals on PlayStation and PS2, Tekken Tag Tournament, one of my first PS2 games. But Soul Calibur, what I've played, I've really enjoyed, and I've heard really good things about number 5. So happy to add Soul Calibur 5 to the collection, and I will note this is complete. Most of everything here is complete today. I think there's one. I can't remember which one it is, but there's one or two that are not complete, but most everything else is. So, Soul Calibur 5.
Your time is up. You will submit.
I believe this is the only one that's not complete. Basically, it's just cover art and disc. You'll see in a second why. But I have a string of racing games coming up here, so you know. So this first one is F1 Race Stars. I am a gigantic fan of kart racing. Mario Kart, one of my all-time favorite games. And so whenever I see others like it, I always try to pick them up. And I've heard really great things about F1 Race Stars. So had to grab it. Of course, it's just Formula One racing, Formula One racers, but in that Mario Kart style. So the thing that does stink about this one, you can tell the box is blue. And you open it up, no manual, and you can see the Nintendo logo right there. So this is very clearly a Wii U case. Unfortunately, I do have a stack of 360 games that I've decided to purge from the collection, but none of them have a good case with them either. I still will probably swap it out just so I have at least a green case like it's supposed to. But yeah, I'm very happy to have this one in the collection. I love kart racers. So F1 Race Stars. Another racer here, and this is a NASCAR game that I've yet to try, but I've heard really good things. I follow, his name is D. Gooden, and then I think there's some numbers at the end, but he does a bunch of racing video game stuff, and he talks about NASCAR, the game, Inside Line. He really enjoys that, so I figured I would pick it up and see if it's any good. This is one, like I have a ton of NASCAR games in my collection, but I need to try this one at some point. The graphics look really nice on this because most of my NASCAR games are like PS2 and Xbox. I do have NASCAR Heat 4 and 5, which I'll show in an upcoming haul video. But yeah, so anyway, NASCAR, the game Inside Line, looks like a ton of fun.
Whoa, caution's out. Caution's out.
And then the last of the racing games, and this is kind of a weird hybrid. I know it wasn't really liked when it released, but Metal Jesus Rocks has talked about this one as a hidden gem in the past, and so that's why I added it to my list, and I found it for a good price recently. This is Need for Speed The Run. Excuse my dog who's jumping on my tripod for some reason. But anyway, yeah, so this is a weird one because it's racing. I think you're basically racing across country, but I think there's like elements where you get out of your car in this as well, which is unique for the Need for Speed games. So I don't know. Hopefully I'll enjoy it like Metal Jesus Rocks does, but we shall see. Need for Speed The Run. Okay, so this next set of games here are all from the same series. I don't know why. I was again, YouTube, it always does it, right? I was watching somebody's YouTube video about the Assassin's Creed series. I think it was Maddie Plays. Maddie, I don't know his real name or what his channel's name is. I'll put it up here. But he was talking about the Assassin's Creed games, and I've never played any of them except for number 4. I played maybe like the first couple hours of it and enjoyed it, but I never ended up going back to it. So I figured that's a series I would like to get into. So of course I went overboard. So I'll show these all at once here because you're going to see gameplay. You see one gameplay, you've pretty much seen it all. But I grabbed Assassin's Creed, the original, and I've heard that this one is maybe a little bit more difficult to go back to, but we'll see. And then of course I had to grab Assassin's Creed 2, and then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Revelations, and then last but not least, I did grab Assassin's Creed 3. So as far as I know it, I now have the first 5 games in the Assassin's Creed series. Am I ever going to play through all of these? Boy, I hope so, but the chances are kind of slim. I went nuts, but again, these were such good prices on these. I know you can get pretty much all of these, right, as remastered editions, but I thought I would go with the OGs on the Xbox 360. I am really looking forward to what is the Ezio trilogy? Is that 2 Brotherhood and Revelations? I think that's the one that always gets like the highest regard. So I'm really looking forward to playing those. But yeah, I thought this was a fun series to have. I will continue collecting it as I find them cheap. So Assassin's Creed 1, what is that one? 2, Brotherhood, Revelations, and number 3.
Look everywhere! Top to bottom! I want him dead! There they are! I will take your heart out with a shovel and feed it to you!
Next up is another series, this time just a duology, but these are, the original is one of the very first 360 games I ever bought, but I ended up getting rid of it down the line because I hadn't played it, but I grabbed it again, Rainbow Six Vegas and its sequel, Rainbow Six Vegas 2. There's another new channel here on YouTube that I started following again. I'll put the name up here because I just don't remember it, but he's great. He's been talking a ton about the PS3 and PS2, and one of the games he was talking about was Rainbow Six Vegas. I decided to go with the 360 version because, like I said, I'm a little bit nostalgic for it because it's one of the very first 360 games I ever picked up. It was in my collection for a very long time, and I hadn't played it yet, so I decided to get rid of it. Well, I changed my mind recently here, of course, and went out and got both of them. Really good prices on these as well, so I don't know. I've heard great things about these games. They're kind of a little bit forgotten at this point, but supposed to be excellent first-person shooters. I love FPS games, so excited to finally play these for the first time. Rainbow Six Vegas and its sequel, Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Fire at will. Go, go.
Here's a game that I was honestly surprised it wasn't more expensive than it is, because apparently this is not available on any digital platform at this point, so you have to get the physical if you want to play it. This is Deadpool. Now, this is a game I actually played and beat, which is rare for me, back when it was new. I think I was working at Family Video, if I'm not mistaken, and I rented it from there, and I thought it was awesome. Like, I had such a good time with it. It's hilarious, and the action in it is a lot of fun. It is very short. I want to say like 6 to 7 hours. Like it's short, even for me who's terrible at games. It didn't take me very long to beat it, but I love this one, and so I'm very happy to add it back to the collection. And again, it is complete, which is always good to see. So one that is surprisingly reasonably priced for something that's not available on digital platforms. So definitely recommend this one, Deadpool.
That sounded like boom.
This next one represents me trying to be something that I'm not, I guess, and that is an RPG gamer. I love the idea of role-playing games. I just don't play them ever, really, but I really want to try it out eventually. But this is Final Fantasy 13. And this is another one that, again, not a lot of people really like this one, but one of the channels I was watching, again, I think it's Maddie Plays, he was talking about, I think Retro Rebound is where he's actually talking about these games. That just came back to me. But anyway, on Retro Rebound, he talked about Final Fantasy 13 and how he still thinks it's one of the best Final Fantasy games. So very good price for Final Fantasy. I figured I would add it to the collection. And this one is a multi-disc set. I think, yeah, 3 different discs in this. This is Platinum Hits, but I really don't mind that too often. You know, there are some that I would like to have the original release on, but for this, I wanted the best box and manual, and that was this edition. So Final Fantasy 13, hopefully I will get around to playing this one at some point in the near future. I added this next one to my wish list a while back, and I hadn't been able to find it until recently. Superman Returns. I remember playing the demo for this when I worked at GameStop, and my boss and I would play it all the time. There wasn't very much you could do in the demo, but I remember it being fun. And another channel, I don't remember which one was talking about it, but they mentioned this, and so I thought, you know what? I would like to try that and see if it's any good or not. I mean, it's Superman, you have an open world, probably not done the best, but that's all right. I really just want to try it. If I start it and hate it, well, I'll just sell it, but hopefully I'll like it. It looks fun, at least, so there's that. We have Superman Returns. This next one is a game that is going up in price very rapidly. I was very fortunate to find this when it was still down to its normal like $15 to $17 price, whatever it was. But they announced that they've taken it off of digital storefronts, and so Spec Ops, the line, the physical has shot up in price. That said, I was shocked to realize I didn't have this in my physical collection. I know I own this one digitally somehow, maybe through Game Pass or PS Plus, I don't know, but I wanted the physical edition of it before it got ridiculously priced. So literally the day after the announcement happened, I went to Disc Replay and I was able to find one. Fortunately, it is complete as well. I did admittedly have to do a lot of work to the case to get all the stickers off, but I think it looks pretty darn good now without those stickers. So Goo Gone was good to me. So this one, this is a great game. I didn't even mention how much I love this game. I've not beaten this one though, which is something I absolutely want to correct. I actually just beat Call of Duty Modern Warfare on PS4. I played it on PS5 and absolutely had a great time with that. So I want to go back to other first-person shooters. Spec Ops The Line, supposed to have one of the absolute best stories in an FPS. So very excited to revisit this one. Spec Ops The Line, find it cheap now if you can before, you know, maybe you'll get lucky like me and find it at Disc Replay before they've raised the price on it.
Reloading! Cover me! Focus fire on that HMG! Taking him out! Okay, got him!
All right, so I'll show these final three together because again, it's part of a series and this is so stupid. I literally was at Disc Replay looking around and I heard somebody ask about this series at the desk and then like a light bulb went off. I'm like, oh yeah, I really liked the first game. I should collect the whole series. Well, that's what I did. I have the original on 360 already and now I have F.E.A.R 2, Project Origin, F.E.A.R 3, and even F.E.A.R Files. So out of the three of these, F.E.A.R Files was the most expensive. I've not played any of these ones I'm holding. I have only played the original. I remember my cousin and I playing the original and really liking it. It was genuinely creepy from what I remember. So I thought this would be a really fun series to have. I am a big first-person shooter fan, as I already mentioned, and I like survival horror quite a lot as well. I love survival horror, Frank. I don't know why I said like. It's a great genre. So combining the two, I mean, that's kind of a perfect recipe for me. So super excited to visit these. I don't really know exactly what F.E.A.R Files is. I think it's, oh yeah, standalone expansion packs for the series. So I don't know where that falls within, but I'll play them in order when I actually do play them. I am so excited to have this series in the collection. Surprisingly well priced for what it is too. Again, F.E.A.R Files was the most expensive, but F.E.A.R 3 and F.E.A.R 2, not bad at all. So now I have the entire F.E.A.R collection, at least as I know it anyway, on Xbox 360. F.E.A.R 2, F.E.A.R 3, and F.E.A.R Files. And that's going to wrap up all of the 360 games and original Xbox games I've picked up recently. All right, so that is a big ol' stack of nostalgia right there. I am so happy that these games are reasonably priced still. So Xbox 360 and PS3, like now is the time to collect for them because just a lot of people aren't. And so the prices are really good. Now that said, I've seen so many YouTubers and videos lately of people talking specifically about PS3 360. So what that means is that those prices are probably going to start going up. So definitely get in now while the prices are good. PS2, frankly, a lot of those are still good priced right now. Also, I feel like that era of gaming, it's really the GameCube where the prices are absurd. But outside of that, Xbox is really well. PS2 does decently, all things considered. Really, PS3 360 right now is the generation to collect for. But anyway, let me know down in the comments below. Have you played any of these? And if so, what do you recommend goes to the top of the playlist? Like I said, I just beat Call of Duty Modern Warfare on PS4 earlier today. So I'd love to do the next in the series, which I believe is Cold War Black Ops. I have to pick that one up still, so maybe you'll see that in an upcoming video. But I have a stack of Xbox One and Xbox Series X, Nintendo Switch, and PS3, PS4, PS5. So 3 more stacks over there to share with you guys. And thank you so much for the great support on the first video. Hopefully you'll like this one as well. But that's going to do it, guys. So thank you so much for checking this video out. Before you go, if you could hit that like button, that really does help me out. But with that said, thanks again for watching. And before you go, I just want to encourage you all to consume some media today. I'll catch you next time.